Hello friends, my name is Hamid. Today I'm working on this drawer made by Admiral. Customers complain is that there's no heat, the motor is running, everything works perfectly fine, there's no heat. So the first thing we are going to do is we check our power. Usually when I get a service call or service request from my customers, if they say that the dryer is not heating, the first thing I tell them to double check your breaker. Go turn off your breaker and turn it back on and see if that makes a difference, because most of the time if your dryer is getting one line 120 volts but not two lines 240 volts or 220, the dryer will not heat, and it could be the problem with the breaker in the house and you may not need a service request. So always check your breaker panel, double check it. Even if the breaker panel is looking okay, turn it off, turn it on completely and see how it goes. And I'll show you the breaker panel here. So here's your breaker panel. You can see the dryer is marked at 22 and 23. Why we have two numbers here, 22 and 23? Because we need two lines. We need 120 volts, 120 volts. So 240 volts, and number 22 and number 23 is these two. You turn it off. Once you turn it off, press it towards off completely and turn it back on very tight. Just don't turn it on like this. No. Once it's off, press on it and then press on it back again, turn it off, and then run your dryer and see if that makes a difference. So this is your breaker. After flipping your breaker, you select the very dry and then turn it back on. When the dryer is running for 10 seconds or 15 seconds, open the dryer door, put your hand inside and feel the heat. If there is heat, you fix your dryer. If there's no heat, you're gonna call for service. As a technician, when I go in a customer house, the first thing I check I ask my customers, did you check your breaker? If they said yes, I don't have to flip it back and forth. Otherwise, I have my multimeter on voltage. I'm gonna check on the plug for 240 volts. I'm checking the line 1 and line 2 between these two to make sure I have 240 volts or 220. While it's plugged in, just a little bit out so I can stick my probes from both sides, from left and right. And I check my power, I have 240 volts. I got 240 volts. Now we're going to focus at the back. The dryer is unplugged. In order to take this ventilation hose off, we need a flat screwdriver to open this C-clamp. Now we are going to take all of these screws off. over there, there, here, and there. All of these screw comes out. It's a 1/4" screw. You can use your extension, or you may want to add a 1/4". It's the same thing. I usually take all the screws out except the center because it's holding the panel for me. Now we are going to focus on this thermal fuse. To get the reading from this, disconnect one wire. You can use a flat screwdriver to pry it out. And then I'm going to select my multimeter on continuity. I added the beep on it so I can listen. And then between this pin and that pin, we're gonna get the reading. That beep noise means that the thermal fuse is working, it's okay. You can put this back in. We're gonna look into the heat element. The heating element wires are this one and this one. We are gonna check for continuity on those two wires. Again, it's a good idea to disconnect one of the wires so you can have a good reading. We're checking between this one and the top. No reading, it means that our heating element is burned. To replace the heat element, I have a heat element already. I will remove this one first. There's 2/4" screw. I pull them out, the heater falls down. You pull your cartridge out, looks like this. And I'll grab the other. This is the new heater. The new part number is 279838 for this heater. And to reinstall this, I'm gonna need an extension for 1/4". The reason I'm adding this 1/4" extension to hold these screws in place, otherwise it will be very hard to reinstall it back in. Now I can add this extension. Double check your heater to make sure nothing is out. If the part of the coil is out, it can short to the ground over here and it blows that top thermal fuse. You don't want that. And to pull this cycling thermostat out, you insert your flat screwdriver at the bottom here and go back and forth. Pull it out, kind of pulls out like that. Here. Before you put your panel back in, you're gonna run the dryer and see how it goes. So I'm gonna turn off the power. My dryer is already heating, which is good. And now I'm gonna put the back panel back in. When you put this back panel back in, you may want to work on it from the bottom first, and then add your screws. This last screw is supposed to come last and go first when you bring this back in. So with one hand you're gonna hold it and retighten it. I had to retighten that screw. That's good to go. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my videos and share it with others. There will be more videos coming every week.